that was a little bit of fun. You have an idea, and it could fall flat, if nobody shows up. But, man, Hawks fans showed up today. 55,000, breaking the record. Getting to play outside into Kinnick, it was like a dream. It really was. It was just fabulous. And, that's all the exterior stuff, right? I thought we had some good basketball, too, in there. Some really beautiful passes, some great assists. I mean, Caitlin has a triple-double. I think Addie O'Grady has 14 rebounds in 19 minutes. She did a really good job on the boards for us. And so I thought Hannah Stolke showed her improvement. Molly Davis showed her improvement. But the most important thing for me to do is say thank you to every single person that came to this game today. They were a part of history, and I can't thank them enough. The wave, for us to be able to do the wave at the Children's Hospital, it was incredible. I'm really speechless about that. The money that we raised goes to the Children's Hospital, $250,000 today. I can't thank my administration enough. When I went to Beth, a week after the Final Four last year, and I said, I have this idea. Most people, a lot of administrators I know would say, you're crazy, and think of every reason why not to do it. And instead, she thought of every reason she should do it. And to me, that's pretty special. So I'm thankful for our administration, our facilities crew, how hard they worked, our ticketing people, how hard they worked, our marketing people. I mean, they all put in this was supposed to be a day off, right? The football game was yesterday. This was supposed to be a day off for them, and they worked their tails off to make this happen. So I'm so thankful for them. Also for DePaul coming in. It's not easy for DePaul to come in and play in front of 55,000 people in a football stadium. And I knew Doug Bruno was the right guy to do this. He's been around for a long time, and he's all about promoting women's basketball. And that's what this event was today, was not only to get better for our team, but to showcase this great sport that we have in women's basketball.
Coach, what would Christine Grant have thought of this?
How many times I've thought of that last year during our Final Four run, how happy she would have been, how pleased she would have been. But today would have been really special, I think. I keep a picture of Dr. Grant and myself on my desk because I want to carry on her tradition. I want to carry on her legacy in every way that I can. And certainly, this is one of them.
Looked like you had a hard time leaving the court there at the end. Could you just stayed out there for about the next 3 hours, soaking in every moment of this one?
I think I could have. And, great weather, right? It's been raining all week, and then here we have great weather today. It was just, again, I'm so thankful. It was special. So glad that I could be a part of this journey.
Is this something you want to make a regular occurrence?
I haven't even thought about that yet. I really haven't. So we'll see.
And why Doug? Why DePaul?
Because Doug's been around our game for so long, and he's always willing to do anything to improve the game. He's always been that way. And so I knew when I would call him and ask him, it took one phone call, and he agreed to it. So.
What'd you think when you first walked out?
Oh, yeah, it was, even when I walked out, it was amazing. And also when I was sitting on timeouts and I could sit down and see the south end zone, right? The north end zone is one thing, but when I'm sitting and talking to my players, I can see the south end zone. I mean, those people can't even see the court. They're watching on the Jumbotron, but they just want to be a part of it. And that just makes our players feel so special.
Coach, there was a moment in there's one moment that this team, it seemed like everybody in the stadium was waiting for, and when it happened, I saw the look on your face, so I think you probably were too. Second quarter, when Caitlin finally hit that first three.
I mean, how much fun is that, right? You're playing outside. There was a few little air balls in there. Free throws weren't as good. Our three-point percentage wasn't as good as normal. I really don't care. I really don't care about that. That's just such a minor part of this to me. But, she's such an electrifying player. And it's just, what can she not do? I mean, the assist she has a triple-double outside in a football stadium. I mean, she's a special player.
What did the kids say about everything at, halftime when they'd experienced that?
At halftime, we really didn't talk about anything about, we just kind of focused on the game and tried to use it as a normal situation. I just, before the game, I just talked to them about being a historic day for us. How we were playing for more than just ourselves. We're playing for the university. We're playing for the Children's Hospital. We're playing for Christy, our kid captain, who is just the most unbelievable kid. And so, we just talked about playing for everybody else and not for ourselves.
There seemed to be a lot of pride for. Go ahead, Chad.
In your opinion, what drew so many people here today?
Well, I mean, Caitlin sells a lot of tickets. There's no doubt about that, right? I mean, she's just such a fun player to watch. But I also think they want to be a part of history. And Hawk fans are special. And you set a goal for Hawk fans, and they're going to come through for you. And so that's, I think it was just that everybody just wanted to be a part of something special, see something they'd never seen before, and have the first opportunity to see this team play this year.
There seemed to be a lot of pride in both your former players who were here watching the program at this level, and also your fans, especially your longtime fans that have been coming for years. And just the way they were beaming about this event, what does that mean to you, just to see the connection that the foundation here?
Yeah, we had Megan Gustafson here, Kathleen Doyle was here, both players that were drafted and are, still playing professional basketball, and they're in the locker room with us right now, and it's so fun to have your players come back, right? And they want to be a part of your program. They want to come back. They know that they're welcome all the time, and they just want to be associated with that. There's a lot of kids that leave college and they never look back in the rearview mirror, and we don't want our players to feel that way. So you got Tanai on the bench now. I got Tiffany Reedy doing radio. It's just it really is a family here, and I know everybody says that, but it's so true.
Lisa, back in April, what motivated you to lobby for this to become a reality?
Well, when I came home, we had that celebration on that Friday night to celebrate our team, and there was 9,000 people came out for that. I mean, they're not even coming out for a game. They're coming out just to see the team and to celebrate the success. So I thought, well, what could we do? We'd sold out Carver already. What were the possibilities? And, obviously wrestling did it here 5 years ago, and it was a great success. So why not? Why not try it?
Lisa, I think in the start of the fourth quarter, there's a IOWH chant. It probably lasted for the better part of 10 minutes. I know it probably wasn't the prettiest stretch of basketball, but
right.
did you take a moment to kind of embrace that? And just what did that kind of revelation you think back to when you started your coaching career to go from the crowds you were playing coaching in front to 55,000 people doing the IOWH chant for 10 minutes outside?
Well, when I first started, I probably played in front of 55 people, and now we're playing in front of 55,000. So we have come a ways. But that chant went on forever, and I could not communicate with our team during it, but I loved it. It was so much fun. I think I lost a little focus. I think the team lost a little focus during that time, but go for it.
Lisa, when you obviously like to quote Billie Jean King to your players, pressure being a privilege, when you look at the trajectory of what she was fighting for 50 years ago to what you all were able to accomplish today, what does that mean for you in terms of not just the growth of women's basketball, but women's sports in general?
Yeah, I mean, look what Nebraska did in volleyball. I mean, they had 92,000 at their game. That's incredible. So women's sports is at a different level right now, and I think we're seeing the effects of the gender or the Title IX babies now are moms and grandmas, and they understand the value of sport. And they want their kids to embrace that and to celebrate it. But not only the little girls, the little boys, too. And so little boys are growing up learning about how good, women's athletics is. And so, Billie Jean King is definitely one of, I sat there and watched the Battle of the Sexes in my living room. I can tell you exactly where I was watching that. And Billie Jean King was obviously at our Final Four last year. Pressure is a privilege, but we're going to try to enjoy it every single day.
This is a state with a rich girls basketball heritage. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? What does this game mean for all of that?
Yeah, we've had basketball here since 1920s in this state, and Jan's grandma was in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it is deeply rooted in this state. So it's just perfectly that it was here, that this event happened in the state of Iowa.
Would you like to see this happen yearly?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if you can pull it off year after year with the same kind of enthusiasm as it happened one time. So I think that's something to think about. Not really sure. Yeah.
Your first year coaching, what would that Lisa think and say about today?
Oh, my goodness. That is a great question. I don't think I could have ever dreamt this. I mean, it's unfathomable, at that point. Truly, we were probably playing in front of 55 people at some times. Basketball is basketball, and I think that, we tried to play with as much joy then as we do today.
You mentioned several people, Hannah Stolke, Addison McGrady, and Molly Davis. Three players are kind of in maybe different roles. Molly Davis in her second year in the Big Ten now.
Yep.
Hannah and Addie are going to be new stars. Just what did you think of them today?
Oh, I think Molly Davis has looked great all summer long. She's just playing at a different level. Her confidence is there. I think last year she deferred to the people that had been here for a little bit. She's not deferring anymore, and she's owning it. She's, I think, playing so well, and she's so smart. People don't realize how savvy she is. She just does little tricky things that people don't do. Hannah Stolke, I don't judge her on her free throws because Caitlin Clark's 5 for 10 from the free throw line, so don't judge her on that, okay? She's improved. She's gotten a lot better, but you can see she's stronger. She's more explosive even than she was last year. Addie, I thought she ran the floor beautifully. Again, 14 rebounds. You want to do those comparisons. She's a better rebounder. Right now we have a better 5 rebounder than we did last year.
Is Kate still recovering from an illness?
Kate, yeah, she's been under the weather for a little bit, and so she has not practiced much in the last 2 weeks. Yesterday was her first half a day of practice.
What was it like for you from, did you sleep much last night? Did you wake up excited or nervous, and then coming down and you see the Hawk Walk, everybody lined up on the side when you walked in the stadium. What was those pregame moments like for you?
Yeah, well, last night one of my best friend's son got married, and so I was at the wedding, and that was probably the best thing that could have happened because it completely took my mind off of today in this game. But when we drove up for the Hawk Walk, it reminded you of the Final Four. It really did. It kind of brought those memories back where, the Hawk fans are there. Our band was there. That's when I got my first of many emotional minutes today was at the Hawk Walk.
Lisa, coming out, as always, with Jan Jensen, kind of a random question, but what does she mean to you into this program?
Well, Jan's been a part of everything for the last, 30 years. We can kind of lose track right now. But Jan and Jenny Fitzgerald both. They're both with me at Drake for 8 years. I asked them to come over here with me, and Jan could have stayed there and been the head coach at Drake University, but they both came over. We had a dream then. We wanted to go to a Final Four. We wanted to fill Carver. We did not talk about Kinnick at all until last April.
How much was the weather a concern the last couple of days in the rain?
People started to look at the weather like 30 days ago, and I never did. I just didn't want to even look at it. This week when it started to rain really hard, but it kept saying it was going to stop for Sunday. Again, our facilities crew, they were amazing. How hard they worked yesterday to set this place up. That's indescribable, really, how hard they had to work to make this happen, and how thankful we are that people embrace this so much.
All right, thanks.
I know you want to hear from this one, so.
Yeah. No opening statement.
So what was it like out there, 55,000?
It was pretty incredible. It's hard to kind of imagine yourself playing basketball in front of 55,000. I was looking at some of the pictures before I came in here, and just like even the backdrop of seeing people react to your shots and stuff, so it's just really cool. And just the way people support women's athletics here in the state of Iowa, I think is pretty incredible as a whole, but obviously women's basketball especially. So I'm just lucky that, I get to play here and put on an Iowa jersey every day. And, they're not just coming here to be a part of, a historic moment. They're in the game. They're invested. They're cheering. They're loud. They know what's going on, and that's what only adds to the fun for all of us.
How did the weather affect you guys?
It was a little windy. The cold was perfectly fine. It was a bit chilly. I'm thankful we play an indoor sport. The wind, for sure. I promise I will never airball again a free throw. But, yeah, the wind took it on that one. But, I told the team before the game, DePaul's dealing with the same thing. That's not an excuse. And, get to the basket early, find ways to score. And, obviously, I don't think our three-point shooting, I don't know what the final number was. I don't think it was all that great. But it was definitely windy. It was kind of a throwback to my younger days when I was out in the driveway or at a park with my brothers. And but it was fun. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event, and, I'm glad we played pretty well.
You've had a couple of months to imagine what it was going to be like. You guys come out to Back in Black. How close was that moment to what you had been thinking about?
Yeah, I was honestly – it's hard to really wrap your head around everything that's happening. Obviously, you can imagine it, but it's never the same until you're actually in the experience, enjoying it and living it. And our team was kind of getting ready to walk down the tunnel just because, we understand this is, a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Yeah, it's the same coming down Carver Tunnel, but this is a different thing we've never experienced in running out to 55,000 people. We've never ran out to really more than, I think, 20,000 at the Final Four. So more than double that, and just a special experience, and the amount of people just screaming for us is just, it just kind of takes your breath away for a moment.
Coach Bluter said that she went to Beth Getz about a week after the Final Four with this idea. When did you hear about it first?
Well, my teammates would tell you I'm always in the know about a lot of the things. If you want information, they come to me. But actually, Coach Bluter kept this a pretty decent secret from me. But I think I knew before the rest of the team, and I was like, oh yeah, like we're doing this. Like it was just a great idea by Coach Bluter, and she, administration, obviously Beth got behind it, but the people that don't really get the credit are the facilities people. Like, they're here working so hard. They were here last night putting everything down, even the day before that, drying up the court. I mean, so much goes into it. I mean, there's heated benches, there's hand warmers, they rented, that's not our normal court. They rented that court. They decaled that court. They put in a lot of time and effort, and they were going to make this happen. I know they told Coach Bluter on Thursday when we were deciding, are we going to go inside, are we going to play outside? They're like, we're going to wake up at 4 a.m. if that's what it means to be able to make this happen for you and your team. And I think that just is very selfless. It speaks to the way they want to make history with us, and it doesn't happen without them. So I'm just really thankful. But honestly, I didn't really know. They kind of kept it from me, probably because they knew I would tell a few people. But no, it was special, and credit to Coach Bluter for getting everybody on board, but also the administration and everyone and the fans rallying around us and really making it what it is. It doesn't happen without 55,000 people coming and supporting us.
With this behind you, what do you want for this season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is patience and taking it one game at a time. I'm treating this year like it's my last year. As I come into the day, I want to go 1-0 every single day. I want to have a great practice every single day. I want to soak up every single moment that I can. I'm not looking too far ahead. Obviously, my goal is to be a national champion. That's what it always is. But I understand the work that it takes to get there, and that it's a really long year. Every single year I've been here, there's been ups and downs, and that's the beauty of basketball. Is one day might not be your day, but you respond, you wake up the next day, and I think that's a testament of the teams Coach Bluter builds, is like really great teams that are playing really great basketball in March. And I think the biggest thing for myself is getting these younger girls to continue to come along. Obviously, it's not quite as sharp as we want it to be today, but I still think there's a lot of areas we can grow, but also we have a lot of really good players on this team that can do a lot of really great things. So I think that's what I'm most excited about, is leading them and helping them, to continue to believe in themselves, because we're going to need it.
What do you think will stick with you most about it today?
Stick with me most? Honestly, a lot of things, but I think just like our kid captain, it's different when you are able to meet them and understand their story, and she actually has a personal connection to our associate head coach, Jan Jensen. So, she just got re-diagnosed with cancer, and nobody is happier in the world to be here than her. And that, I told Kate, after she talked to us and Coach Jay kind of told us her story, I'm like, you should come into every game and understand, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. It doesn't matter if you score 30 points. It doesn't matter what happens. That kid is living her life to the fullest, and she has something that is really bad in her life, and we're lucky enough to play a sport, and she would do anything to do that again. She was a swimmer, a great swimmer, and she's not able to do that right now. So I think being able to get to meet her, and she gave me her little player card, and it says favorite Hawkeye, and it says Caitlin Clark, and I know I'll keep that for forever. And those are the moments that you kind of keep for forever. That matters way more than how I could have played today or how I'll play the rest of the season.
How much outdoor pickup did you play as a kid, and how
a lot.
This compare?
Yeah, I begged my dad to extend the driveway growing up and pour more concrete and put a hoop in, and he finally did. It took him a while. And then I took some spray paint and spray painted all across the driveway, which I don't think he loved because it stayed there for quite some time. But looking back, it kind of helped. But me and my brothers, I would get ready for school as fast as I could when I was in 4th, 5th, 6th grade. I was wearing a blue polo and khaki pants, and I was out in the driveway playing basketball. That's just what I loved to do, whether it was cold, whether it was hot, whether I was in my winter coat, whether I was sweating bullets. I probably went to school and smelled. But, I just loved basketball. It was just what I loved to do. My brothers loved it. My family would always rebound for me. It was just something we were kind of bonded by. But, some of my most fond memories growing up are playing in the driveway with my brothers and enjoying that. And I remember, the feeling when my dad poured more concrete tore up the grass and made it like a full three, so I could have a full 3-pointer. It was going to get cut off if he didn't, so I'm glad he did. I probably wouldn't be a good shooter if he didn't do that. So.
Caitlin, I think there was a point for like start of the fourth quarter, the IOWA chant goes.
Yeah.
Goes for like 10 minutes
yeah.
at least. Lisa said you guys might not have been the prettiest basketball.
It wasn't. They're still going. Yeah.
Did you kind of take a moment to like relish how loud it was, and how different that was?
Yeah, it was so loud, and that's not always something that you get in Carver, the IOWA chant. So it's like kind of a special football thing, but. The football fans, Hawkeye fans, kind of made it into a basketball thing today, and that was super fun. I was like, I can't hear or think right now because it was so loud, and they didn't stop. I remember, like, at one point we had fouled, and we came into a huddle, and I was like, I couldn't even talk like this close to Gabby because that's how loud it was. But like I said earlier, it just shows how invested our fans are into the game. You know, they're paying attention, they're watching, and they love it, and they support it, and, you know, we're really lucky to have that. It's nowhere else in the country has what we have.
Did you have the opportunity to soak this in? There were tons of tailgaters out there.
Yeah.
Did you know, walk around out there?
I didn't. It probably wouldn't have been a great idea for myself, but I didn't. My family was having a great tailgate. That was very apparent, so I'm glad that they did that. But I saw them at it's kind of weird because I'm used to being a part of the tailgate because my brother played football for Iowa State, so it was like always something I was a part of, so I was a little bummed. I'm like, man, I can't go. But then I see them at like the Hawk Walk. I got to see them. But yeah, we came out of shoot around this morning and everybody was like, people are tailgating, like this is amazing. Like it was just kind of a buzz. And then I kind of got to see it all actually as we were driving in. We kind of looped down and around, so I got to see a bunch of people tailgating and like waving to us on the side of the road. So it was kind of cool because usually we're not on that side of it.
Is this something you could see happening every year?
Oh man, I hope. That would be fun. I mean, I'd sign up for it. Obviously, a lot of things have to go the right way. A lot of things have to go into it. But I mean, why not try to break it every year? I would get behind that.
What does it mean for you to be in this moment where you're seeing this explosion, not just of women's basketball, but women's sports in general, especially when you look at what Nebraska volleyball accomplished over the summer?
Yeah, I think it's special. I think it's something that is deserved. I think it's something that should have been done probably a long time ago. I think people are starting to understand how amazing women's sports are and how fun it is to watch. And it's just going to continue to grow. I think that's the amazing thing. It has so much space to continue to grow. It has so many good players in the game, whether it's, like you said, volleyball or basketball or softball, gymnastics. Like every one, you look at the viewership continues to go up. You continue to give them the platform, and they're going to deliver. And you know, I've always been a huge fan of women's athletics, and you know, it's something I love watching, not just basketball. So I think the biggest thing is just, you know, give them the opportunity to shine, and they certainly will.
That first three, what was that like?
The first three? I was like, man, I hope this goes in because it could definitely be an air ball. But yeah, I had to definitely make one of those in this game. I just had to. I had to pull up from the logo and make a deep three for the fans. Yeah, I saw the clip in the locker room. It was pretty cool. Had a little celebration. Probably ran back on defense a little too slow, so coach probably won't like that. But yeah, it was fun. The crowd erupted, and it was cool to hear that.
You hit everywhere you look, but you also had a triple-double outside. Like, just thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think, you know, Addie and Hannah especially, I thought they finished, you know, pretty well around the rim. Molly made some good shots. You know, and like I said, I don't get assists if it isn't for them, and it was good to see Gabby to make a couple there at the end. She got a little unlucky in and out and off the backboard, but you know, that's something I take pride in, is I want to be able to do a lot of different things for our team, and I think especially our transition offense is at its best when I get the rebound and push in transition. So that's always what I'm trying to do, and I think at this point a lot of people know that's kind of my game. So it's what I, you know, pride myself in every single time I step on the floor.
Coach, everywhere you look, you'd see somebody who drove 5 hours to come here. First time they've seen you play, and their little girls and boys wearing 22.
Yeah.
Do you ever stop and kind of go, wow, this is for me, this is for us, this is such a neat moment?
Yeah, I try to as much as I can, and it's so hard. Like, I just really struggle to wrap my head around everything that's happening, and I understand what we're doing for women's basketball and all of that, but just the way people are screaming my name and things like that, it's something I will never take for granted, but also something I feel like a lot of pride and responsibility of making time for them and getting to, you know, give them a second of my time. So I try to make as much time as I can for those people when I ran off the field today. But yeah, I feel like I was just that little kid. I know I always say that, but it's crazy. Like, it's just hard to fathom, and you know, I'm really lucky lucky to be here and have a state that I grew up in really rally around me and this team. And, I couldn't imagine it to go any better.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.